Good morning. We are heading into the Wind Rivers up on the north side by Dubois. Spent the night in Dubois. It is 6 o'clock, just leaving trailhead, heading up into Bomber Basin. And this will be a different kind of adventure for us, outside of our comfort level. We are going to be off trail for most of the hike, except for the first 4 miles of today and the last several miles of the last day. And so we're pretty excited because we're going to be going into some incredible country, bucket list kind of stuff. We will see you up the trail. So the plan today is to hike up the Glacier Trail, which is the main trail that goes into Gannett Peak, which is the highest point in Wyoming. So it's very popular. We'll go up about 3.5 miles or so, cut off into Bomber Basin where there's a trail for another half mile, and then it'll be off trail for a little more than 4 miles, maybe 5, depending on how much adventuring we have to do. And then that will get us up to Bomber Lake. And so that is today's plan, at least. So we'll see how well we execute. The grouse had a whole bunch of little babies that flew off, and it like ran up at me, scared the crap out of me, made all sorts of hostile gestures, didn't you? Here's where we leave Glacier Trail, and this is the Bomber Basin Trail. It's going to be faint for about a half mile, and then it's going to go away completely. There's frost on the ground. Looks like we might get our feet wet. There's like a major heat wave going on across the whole west, and up here it's pretty brisk, pretty cold. 7:30. This is where the trail ends. There's no real view from everything I've heard of Bomber Falls. It's more of a big cascade. But now we've got to kind of find a way up to the left of this rock formation, get up over the top of it. This has got to be steeper than it looks, because it feels really steep. We're thinking that, see bear, too big for coyote, thinking maybe it's wolf. I'm sporting bear spray. We've got grizzlies here on the west side of the Wind Rivers. And so we are trying to make a little bit of noise coming through the trees. Well, we've reached the top of this climb. That is the canyon we're going up to. We've got to get down into that one down there. There has actually been kind of an off and on faint trail on the way up here. Off and on because about a third of the time we weren't on it. We were just climbing up rocks and stuff. But it wasn't too bad. It was very steep.
Steep, but not, yeah, but it wasn't.
It's an old cabin site. They even have like old tin containers in here. I think we took kind of a side route. We got to find the main route back over there. There's a cairn. This flower looks like it has a bunch of little singing mouths on it. We've reached the burn area. Going to be a lot more down trees. And there were plenty of down trees where we came from. There's a little faint trail, can't see it, but there'll be down trees, and it's pretty hard to find it when it's hard to find it when you're standing on it.
There's lots of pretty paintbrush.
Yeah, the flowers love this burn area. They love the sunshine. From the research that I did, it said to cross this river as soon as you can near the burn, so we're fording it because there's scree on the left and off and on used trail on the right. So we shall see. Kind of a long crossing.
Is it a little cold?
Yeah. I'm losing the feeling in my feet.
Yeah, me too.
This is such a beautiful area. Let's see the canyon we're going to go up to. That's the corner. Got a couple miles around that corner before we get to the lake. There's no trail on this side, but we're not walking through scree. Or down, a lot of down trees. We are not making good time.
Husband spoke up and said how we were going to get there to the place.
All right, you've done enough manicuring. It is very slow going. And once in a while, a beautiful scene. Wow, this is something. This is something. This is worth the price of admission right here. there's actually a bit of a trail. It started right near the bottom of the climb. We're climbing up to the turn in the canyon. This is much easier. And then there's some down trees and it goes away and then find it again. Better than what we were doing. It's like the outlet to the lake. We had a trail for a while, then it went away, huh? But we're almost there. We have reached Bomber Lake. Tricky part is we've got to get across the outlet, and there's no obvious place. It's very deep, rocky. I have to go downstream. All right, this looks kind of sketchy. We are here. We have found our camp spot. The lake through the trees there. Isn't that a gorgeous color? You can see the color now. The lighting has to be just right. There's a nice glacial silt in there. That's where the tent goes. Got a bunch of snow right next to the campsites here. Boy, this is such beautiful country. These granite cliffs are something else. Now from camp, look over at the lake. It's all turquoise. Walk over the lake. It's not. You see like a little hint of it. The camp's not that far away. Just right back there. I walked back to camp, and now I look at the lake. Look, it's turquoise. Good morning. We are just leaving Bomber Lake, and we're going to be heading up in that direction, going up to a no-name lake, 2 Mile Lake, and then heading down to Upper Ross Lake and hopefully get past there. And then we'll see what time of day it is when we get there. So before I trip and fall in the lake, I will see you down the trail. It's an old cabin here at Bomber Lake. Still walking alongside it. Looks like it hasn't been used in a while. I didn't show much of our trip up because I can't hold my phone and push through the underbrush and same time, but looks like we made it to the top of this pass. That lake below us is No Name Lake. It's like 10,138, something like that. And beyond it is Mile Long Lake. And we're up on the pass here. We have no idea how to get down, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Make our way down to No Name Lake. Look at how dark this paintbrush is. That's gorgeous. Little pond here. Not on the map. Not very big. Little tarn. Good job. This is No Name Lake. It totally deserves a name. It's even got a waterfall coming in on the other side. This is beautiful. We've reached the outlet to Mile Long Lake, and we're heading up the rocks on the left side. Hopefully we can get up there and get across this river eventually. This is Mile Long Lake. It is a gorgeous lake. It does look like it's about a mile long. We've got to figure out how to get to the other side. It looks easy enough to start, but I think there's big gaps over there. I see a log. Okay kids, we crossed right here, and it was much more difficult than it looked. But we did it. Didn't get our feet wet. Now we're in the briar patch. We have reached Upper Ross Lake. Very large lake. We just came through that swamp over there. Now our feet are all wet. There's no way around it. And this next stretch going past Upper Ross Lake and then Ross Lake, there's no trail. And it's gonna take a while, so buckle up. I haven't filmed much of this because this is so hard. But watching my wife do it seems easy. But we came up this very steep boulder field, and we got to get up above those trees somewhere.
Well, we're trying to climb up these rocks, and this is crazy.
Coming up that boulder field paid dividends, because now we have this huge boulder field to cross. But there really aren't any other options because the lake's cliffed out below. All right, focus on not dying. Well, this is the outlet to Upper Ross Lake. We finally reached the other side. It took us hours and a lot of backtracking to get through all that scree and nonsense, and believe me, I didn't show you a fraction of what we went through. But we're going the right direction now. Feels so good. Boy, that took long enough. Made it to Ross Lake, and that means we made it to camp finally. Got a nice, beautiful stream here. We already took a little bath. Right there, perfect spot. I don't know if you can see that huge waterfall over there. Got a lot of smoky haze coming in from the Idaho fires. Too bad. Sure nice to be to camp finally. This is the first time that where I sit at camp, I can see a waterfall right from camp. Good morning. We are just leaving camp and we're already lost. Trying to figure out how to get over these cliffs over there. You can't really see. And so going up a rock slide. This is the first 2.5 miles getting around Ross Lake. Looks like it's going to be a continued adventure. There's not really a trail. And then at the north end of Ross Lake, we hit our first trail for a couple days, official trail, and go about 6 miles back to the trailhead. So that's our day. We'll see how this goes. I think that's an otter. Looks like one. We have reached the end of the lake. Ross Lake is a big lake, a lot of obstacles. And there are the first people we've seen in 3 days.
Since Saturday morning.
That is the end of Ross Lake now. Now we're gonna be back on the trail and head out of the backcountry, and the trip will be over. Kind of sad. You know what this is? This is a trail, and it's steep for I think about a mile coming out of the lake. We've already gained some ground. You see the lake's down there somewhere, and then a nice steep trail back to the car. Almost done. 5.5 more miles. It's a very steep climb. Let me take a breather and show you the glacier that we were camped under this morning. Nice view. You can see Ross Lake now. Well, we made it to the top. Somebody didn't. That was a tough climb. Well, that was our backpacking adventure in the Bomber Basin area. It's quite an adventure. It's the first time we've done that much off trail, and it's a different experience. We ran into a lot of challenges, a lot of beautiful scenery, some of which we didn't expect. And it was, you know, when we got to camp, especially last night, we just had this real sense that we've accomplished something difficult. We can do hard things, and we felt good. It was a very challenging day. Got cliffed out several times, backtracked a couple times. It was frustrating, but we figured it out, got around it. And last night we were laughing about all our mistakes, and it's a different experience. Used to just getting on a trail, and the trail knows where to take us. Had to have our head on a swivel, not to get lost. But we got lost a few times, and that's okay. It was a great adventure. I'm sure Sandy and I are going to remember this for a very long time. Really appreciate you guys watching our video, and we will see you on the next hike.